Hi, everybody. The live stream has started, so it's going right now, and we're just waiting for a couple more members to join, or one more member to join us.
When are the applications closed for the?
December 6th. Yeah. I'll review the process.
Well, it's just my friend passed away.
Oh.
So she asked me yesterday and I was like, double check.
We have to learn. I'm just going to partially close the door.
Okay. So I will call the meeting to order at 12:01. So I acknowledge with respect that we are in Roberts and Huron Treaty Territory, that the land on which we are gathered is a traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and known as Wadding. Wadding is the home of the Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nation, and the historic Sault Ste. Marie Council. So first off, we have the adoption of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review? Is there any issues? If not, can I have someone to move that they be approved as presented? Yeah. Okay, please, and a seconder. Jamie. Perfect. Right, any declarations of pecuniary interests? No. All right, and then the adoption of the agenda. Is there any questions, additions, anything like that?
The only thing is I have a typo.
Okay.
So yeah, just hanger needs to be AR. So I just have to change that in.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so can I have a motion for the agenda to be adopted as amended? Jamie, and seconded by, please, perfect. All right, so we have business arising, we have the museum bell, so I will leave that off to you, Lee.
Sounds good. I reached out to St. Mary's College, to Daryl Wardell, and he has put Vince Pistor, Pistor, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. They are looking at the plans, and as soon as they get back to me with more details, I will let you know.
Thank you. Is there any questions about that? No. So is this for building house or questions? Okay. Next off, we have the heritage property tax rebate. So in this September, Tammy and I went out, we inspected the properties. And we sort of noted the issues or and on like the changes that they made from last year. So you can see that sort of in the report there, pictures included. Has everyone had a chance to sort of look that over? Is there any questions about it? Comments, concerns? So I think we've approved all of them, right? Yeah, so they are all approved. There were a couple where, three, where we wanted to sort of include a letter marking where sort of big improvements need to be made, or at least shown some attempt that they are going and trying to make those improvements or repairs or whatever. Otherwise, next year we will go forward with the recommendation. So that's sort of what we decided to do. So is there any questions about that? Yep. Okay, so we will need a motion to resolve that the Sault Ste. Marie Municipal Heritage Committee recommend to City Council that the designated heritage property tax rebates for the 2023 tax year be paid to the qualified owners of designated heritage properties enrolled in the program. And you can see in the agenda, the properties from 1 to 15 listed. And also, further that an inspection report and letter be sent to the property owners outlining the recommendations. So can I have a mover for that? Okay, Maddie. And a seconder. Jamie, perfect. All in favor? Yeah, great, perfect. All right, next off, we have the subcommittee and task force update. So first off, we have the heritage booklet and tours. So we had a meeting in October and Tammy pretty much has the book sort of like for the most part finished. It's now just sort of like in that review process, making some of the changes, and then also I think a couple additions of the newer buildings, so that when we have to sort of just make updates, because like last year we added the house on Summit, and then there's probably a couple others that we still have to add, so it'll just be those couple little changes, but otherwise we are well on our way with the heritage booklet and it's looking wonderful, so very excited for everybody to be able to see that. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, no, I was just saying, the subcommittee's meeting next week on the 20th. So I thought once we've had an opportunity to kind of finalize some of those tweaks, that could be the focus of our December meeting. We don't have a lot of other business at this time that's been brought to my attention for the meeting with them, so that would be a great time to share that with the full Municipal Heritage Committee with where we're at, and yeah, go over it at that point.
Okay, perfect.
So Nicole, can I ask
Are
a
any
question?
other questions? Oh, Jamie, do you have something?
Yeah, I do. So I had a list of
Oh,
about
yes,
13 properties that were missing from that booklet. So are they being added? Oh, really? Can you hear me now?
No.
Oh, all right. Just let me.
Jamie, I can hear you, so I think it's a
Oh,
problem
nice.
on there, and it's a
I
problem
also
on there.
can hear you.
Oh, I can hear you really well too, Angela. Thank you. So my question, Angela, maybe you could relay it, is that I had about 13 properties that were missing from the booklet, federally designated properties, and are those
Can you
going to
hear
be
us?
added or not?
So
No.
Jamie ended up sending me a bunch of properties. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
I can also hear you. Okay, so it's just
Cool.
the boardroom.
It's just the boardroom.
I think it's boardroom audio. Boardroom audio is probably not picking us up. It's an issue with them, not with us.
So Tammy, I also have not received any of your files, and I probably missed the meeting because I didn't hear about it. Could you send me the current version that you're working from of that file?
And so I made all of the changes and I updated it, but I didn't want to send it just to us. So I relayed everything back to Virginia, and I came up with a
Okay.
big list of, have like 3 pages of all of your markups. Thank you so much. I went through all of your markups, made up all the changes and everything like that. And then I figured we could discuss it as a group at our next meeting, all of the other 13 heritage buildings that you want to add. So anything that you've sent to me, I put it into a document to add to our next meeting minutes for Virginia.
Okay, so what I did send you text for was the 2 new municipally designated buildings.
Yes, I
And
forwarded that to Virginia.
a couple more that were missing from earlier versions of the booklet. But then there's another dozen or so that are flat out missing, right?
Okay. So
And if
I'm
you want, I could spend time writing the description for those if you want the text.
So my only issue with us adding more pages is I think we have to agree as a group that more pages, because then it'll be more money to produce, but I don't want to miss any.
Well,
So
that's the point. You are missing quite a few, yeah. So, okay, bigger discussion for a bigger group.
I think, yeah, I think we'll just leave it to group.
Okay, but if,
Maybe raising.
so in terms of me helping you proofread, that last version took me about 9 hours. So if you have another version that is ready for proofreading, I could put in the time if I had the file.
Okay, just hold on. I sent everything to Virginia. I just don't want everything to get all cluttered.
Yeah.
So,
I should warn you, when I worked on the Heritage Calendar project many years ago, it was version 17 that went to the printer. So I'm just warning you that so there isn't one proofread, there's going to be about 15 proofreads.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And the one that you went through, I hadn't even spell checked. So I've
So
since
I could
spell
tell that
checked
a
the
lot of
entire
them
thing.
were kind of artificial intelligence typos.
Mhm.
Whatnot. And then there's a number of formatting decisions that we're going to have to make, and French accents and all, certain procedural, but we don't need to talk about that here. I just had the sense that I missed a meeting and maybe I was a meeting behind everybody. Okay, no worries. Sorry, we can turn it back to Nicole perhaps.
Yeah.
And I can mute.
Yeah, so we will be going over like all that stuff next week and then bringing it back to you in December. Next off, we have the heritage trees.
So with that project, Tim was away for a little while in October, so he was going to confirm a couple of locations. And I'm working with our forestry department as well to look at getting measurements done on the trees that are on city property. And then we'll have to go through a process of determining, getting permission from those that are potentially sitting on private property. So we're just kind of working through confirming the coordinates, and starting to do that background research. Once we have a little bit more information from Tim and Travis, then we can start having our next meeting, and where we'll dive into more of the history of the tree as opposed to the technical measurements on that side.
So is there any questions about the heritage trees? So next off, we have new business. So there is sort of an ongoing issue that we've been having at the museum. And I don't know if you've sort of seen it, but if you look at the front of the building, and especially if you go in our back door, we have a lot of pigeons, but also pigeon droppings. So not only do you actually see those, so it's like left like sort of a big huge streak on the buildings, but it's also very dangerous. So the droppings eat away at the bricks and all of that, so it's damaging the building, but also it carries a lot of diseases. And since they are also on the roof, it goes into the HVAC system. Anybody going in and out the back will probably be getting it too. So we've done our best to sort of control the pigeons, but we want to do a little bit more, like putting sort of little spikes up on the windows. And as the museum is sort of owned by the city and sort of run by the Municipal Heritage Committee, we sort of need the board's permission to be able to put those up. So we've done a lot of research, and there are pigeon controls that you can get for specific heritage properties and buildings like that. So you can put those things up and they will blend into the historical features. And they have all the stuff that you can do that. So it'll be like putting up spikes or little gel repellent things. So sort of some stuff like that to be able to repel the birds. So pretty much all sort of looking at right now is just would we be able to go ahead and start putting some of those in place. We just want to be able to start doing that. So that's sort of our question. Would that be something that the board would let us do at the museum?
Does anybody have any concerns with allowing them to proceed?
Oh,
Don't need a motion.
oh, don't need a motion.
No, because there's no building permit or anything we have to sign, right? It's just a maintenance issue.
Okay. Okay. And then next off, we have the Municipal Heritage Committee appointments. So I will leave that off to you, Virginia.
So applications opened up for the Heritage Committee. The terms all run at the same time, so everybody that wants to continue does need to put an application in before December 6th at 4:30 p.m. to the clerk's department. And then that would start the next term for everybody. So I know some members came on during our second call out, so it's only been about a year. But the time frame is always the same, so there's a call out for multiple committees right now of council, so when you see that list and you go onto the city's website. You know, I think there's 10 or 12 committees that are doing the call out for new members. Or for members to reapply that are existing, so make sure you take a look at the application. If you do have any questions about the process, just send me an email and I'll be happy to guide you through it.
It's pretty easy.
Well, everybody here is done at once, at least, so. But yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know, okay?
Okay. Next we have the Heritage Register. So a subcommittee will be established next year to review the properties on the list. So that's something you sent out, was it in
the summer.
Summer?
Yeah. So a copy of the document was shared with everybody in the summer, so you can start taking a look at it. I just thought we should wait to the new year in the event that we have some new members that are interested in participating in the committee, that we could do a call out in January at that time to form a working group subcommittee to start to review them.
And then next we have correspondence. So we have 911 Wellington Street. The property has been sold and Virginia will be meeting with the owner to provide information on the heritage home ownership and programs available. And so that's that yellowy, stucco-y building on Wellington, finally sold. So I'm happy that has new owners, so hopefully they will
Yeah, so the new owner seems very interested in learning more about what it means to own a heritage property, learning about the processes. And the programs are available, so I know one of the first things that he's looking at is redoing the roof. So currently the roof is asphalt shingle, so replacing like for like. So if he was making a major change, it would have to come back to the committee. Since it's like for like, it won't necessarily have to come back to the committee. But I'm gonna be sitting down and going over with him some of the changes. He does want to do some painting work right now because some of the woodwork and trim work gets lost because everything's the same color. So he's interested in coming to the committee to talk about options so that he can really highlight some of those architectural features that are present in the home. So yeah, so we're set to meet next week and just go over everything he needs to know and, you know, when to come to the committee and how to work with it.
any questions about that? All right, so, our next meeting is December 4th. At noon, and also, yes, that's it, so can we have a motion to adjourn?
I can.
Please, and a seconder, Tammy, perfect. Okay. All right,
Thank you, everybody. See you in a couple weeks.